Almost simultaneously, two reports from the northern shores of the Persian Gulf sent shockwaves across the globe. Tehran loudly proclaimed victory, claiming its air defense missiles had precisely shot down 3 U.S. warplanes, while Kuwait cautiously confirmed through diplomatic language that several U.S. aircraft had burst into flames over its territory. Was it a heroic interception or a bizarre coincidence? As two mysteries simultaneously unfolded over the Middle East, the world asked the same question: were these crashes the result of shootdowns? On March the 2nd, Iran's state television reported that a military spokesperson publicly stated Iran's air defense forces had successfully shot down 3 U.S. military aircraft that had violated its airspace. The news immediately ignited global attention, further straining the already tense U.S.-Iran relations. Almost simultaneously, Kuwait's Ministry of Defense announced that several U.S. military aircraft had crashed in the country earlier that day, though fortunately all crew members were successfully rescued. The Iranian military spokesperson did not specify the exact time, location, or weapons used in the shootdown. He only emphasized that the 3 U.S. aircraft were violating Iranian airspace at the time, and the Iranian military took countermeasures in accordance with the law to shoot them down. The spokesperson reiterated that Iran resolutely safeguards its national sovereignty and airspace security, and any violation will be met with decisive counteraction. Kuwait's Ministry of Defense provided relatively brief information, without specifying the exact number, cause, or location of the crashed aircraft. However, it confirmed that all crew members had been rescued, were in stable condition, and had been contacted by the U.S. side. Coordination and investigation into the crash were underway. The near-simultaneous release of these two statements, with their striking temporal alignment, immediately sparked widespread speculation. Public opinion widely suspects that the several U.S. military aircraft Kuwait claims crashed may be the same 3 Iran claims to have shot down. To date, neither Iran, the U.S. nor Kuwait has provided clarification on whether the two incidents are connected. Recent tensions between the U.S. and Iran have escalated sharply. The U.S. military has conducted frequent military exercises near Iran and dispatched fighter jets to its vicinity, while Iran has repeatedly warned it will decisively counter any violation of its airspace. This incident likely represents Iran's forceful response to U.S. military provocations. As a major military power in the Middle East, Iran possesses a relatively sophisticated air defense system and has continuously enhanced its homeland air defense capabilities. Having previously shot down U.S. drones, the successful downing of 3 manned fighter jets would further validate the strength of its air defense forces. Reports suggest Iran may have employed domestically produced air defense systems with advanced capabilities. Following news of the downed U.S. aircraft, the American side has yet to issue an official response, neither confirming nor denying the incident. This silence has heightened external curiosity about the truth behind the event. Industry insiders speculate that the U.S. may be verifying the situation and formulating countermeasures. The loss of 3 fighter jets at once is no minor matter for the U.S. military, and a corresponding response may follow. Kuwait finds itself in a delicate position, sandwiched between the U.S. and Iran. Following the crash of the U.S. aircraft within its territory, Kuwait has handled the matter with extreme caution. It has only confirmed the survival of personnel and coordinated with the U.S. on the investigation, avoiding excessive details. This approach aims to prevent entanglement in the conflict and safeguard its own security. Within Iran, public sentiment largely supports the military's actions. Some citizens took to the streets spontaneously to celebrate, viewing the incident as a major victory for national sovereignty that struck a blow against U.S. military arrogance. They expressed hope that the military would maintain its firm stance to resist external aggression. Regarding the cause of the U.S. fighter jet crash, various speculations have emerged. Beyond Iran's claim of shooting it down, some suspect mechanical failure, given that certain U.S. aircraft models have been in service for a long time and are aging. Others speculate it may have been mistakenly shot down by Kuwait's air defense system. However, none of these theories have been officially confirmed. Military experts point out that regardless of the cause of the crash, this incident will intensify U.S.-Iran tensions and further destabilize the Middle East. Should it be confirmed that the Kuwaiti fighter jet was one of the 3 downed by Iran, the U.S. military may take retaliatory action, potentially plunging the entire region into turmoil. The international community is closely monitoring the situation, with multiple nations urging both the U.S. and Iran to exercise restraint, avoid escalating conflict, and resolve differences through dialogue and consultation. The United Nations has also stated it will closely follow developments, expressing hope that all parties will adhere to international norms and uphold regional and global peace. Following the incident, Iran's military has heightened domestic air defense alerts, particularly reinforcing border regions to guard against potential U.S. retaliation. The military reiterated its commitment to maintaining high vigilance and resolutely countering any violation of national sovereignty. The U.S. maintains substantial military deployments across the Middle East. Should the downing of 3 fighter jets be confirmed, it would represent not only a military setback, but also a significant blow to U.S. prestige. Reports indicate the U.S. military has urgently mobilized nearby forces to enhance vigilance and launched a comprehensive investigation into the incident. However, it has yet to issue a public statement, making its true intentions difficult to discern. Kuwait has maintained a low profile since releasing the news, revealing no further details. According to local media, relevant authorities have dispatched personnel to the crash site for investigation and evidence collection to assist the U.S. probe, while simultaneously strengthening domestic security to ensure stability. The incident has also triggered fluctuations in global energy markets. As a major oil-producing region, instability in the Middle East could disrupt petroleum supplies. Following the crash, international oil prices rose slightly, with multiple nations expressing concern that escalating U.S.-Iran tensions could impact oil transportation and global economic stability. Reviewing recent U.S.-Iran relations reveals persistent conflict. The U.S. military has repeatedly imposed economic sanctions and military deterrence on Iran, while Iran has continuously strengthened its military capabilities and maintained resolute resistance. The downing of the fighter jet represents the latest manifestation of this long-standing confrontation. Public voices have emphasized that innocent civilians ultimately bear the brunt of U.S.-Iran conflict. Years of turmoil have displaced Middle Eastern populations, prompting widespread international calls for both sides to cease hostilities. Dialogue is urgently needed to restore regional peace and enable citizens to return to stable lives. Further details regarding the incident remain undisclosed. Iranian military authorities stated they will release information in due course based on the investigation. Kuwait and the U.S. are also accelerating their inquiries to ascertain the truth promptly. Military experts analyze that this incident may mark a turning point in U.S.-Iran relations. If the U.S. military retaliates, the conflict could escalate into full-scale war. If both sides exercise restraint and resolve issues through dialogue, relations might ease. However, given the current hardline stances, the risk of escalation remains high. Iranian authorities are actively addressing the incident's impact by bolstering air defense and security measures while managing public sentiment to stabilize domestic morale. Multiple Iranian officials have emphasized that while Iran will not initiate conflict, it will not fear provocation and will resolutely defend national sovereignty and interests. While the U.S. military has not made public statements, observers speculate it may soon take action, such as bolstering Middle East deployments or striking Iranian targets, to salvage face and issue warnings. Yet such moves could provoke harsher Iranian retaliation, plunging the situation into a vicious cycle. Kuwait finds itself in an awkward position as a related party. As a U.S. ally, it must cooperate with investigations while simultaneously avoiding antagonizing Iran and striving for neutrality. Consequently, it has handled the incident with extreme caution, refraining from making controversial statements. The international community is actively attempting mediation, urging both the U.S. and Iran to exercise restraint and resolve their differences peacefully. Multiple nations have expressed willingness to facilitate dialogue between the two sides and promote de-escalation. However, the deep-rooted conflicts between the U.S. and Iran make a comprehensive resolution far from straightforward.